It's often been said that the one that we serve is a God of second chances. Let's be sure we know what that second chance is to be used for. As Barry Phillips with 10-Minute Torah, day number 2 of the Torah portion, B'ha'elatecha, when you raise up. Let's go to the book of Numbers, Bamidbar, chapter number 9. Verse 1 says, And Yahweh spoke to Moshe in the wilderness of Sinai in the first new moon of the second year after they had come out of the land of Mitzrayim. Now let the children of Israel perform the Pesach at its appointed time. On the 14th day of this new moon between the evenings, perform it at its appointed time. According to all of its laws and right rulings, you perform it. Moshe spoke to the children of Israel to perform the Pesach. So they performed the Pesach on the 14th day of the first new moon between the evenings in the wilderness of Sinai, according to all that Yahweh commanded Moshe, so the children of Israel did. Now it gets interesting here. Verse 6 says, But there were men who were defiled for a being of a man, so that they were not able to perform the Pesach on that day. So they came before Moshe and Aaron that day. Those men said to him, We are defiled for the being of a man. Why are we withheld from bringing near the offering of Yahweh at its appointed time among the children of Israel? And I love this. I absolutely love verse 8 that says, And Moshe said, Wait, let me hear what Yahweh commands concerning you. Wait right here, guys. I'm going to go ask Yah, and I'll be right back. The confidence of Moshe's prayer life, that he had this understanding, hold on, don't go away, I'll be right back. That he could go and address Yah and ask a question, get an answer, and come back and say, this is what the answer is. Number one, that he had that confidence that Yah would hear him, but number two, that he had this confidence that he could hear Yah, that he could understand exactly what the answer might be. Now, the result of this was that Yah says you can still perform the Pesach of Yahweh on the 14th day of the second new moon, 30 days later. So you have 30 days to deal with whatever defiling issues that you have, and then you can come back, and there is a 30-day grace period. What an amazing heart that our Creator has. So let's kind of back up here a little bit. Why Pesach? What is this about? Pesach is to celebrate the fact that we are a delivered people, that we cried out to Him in a place of our bondage. Yah heard us, and He sent to us a mighty deliverer. Now, that Pesach story is not so far removed from where we're living even now. We are in a place of exile. We are in a time of bondage. We are in a place of exacted servitude upon us in many ways. And we're crying out for the appearance of our deliverer. This time, whereas the first time they did not know that Moshe would be the deliverer, and even after he showed up, they questioned whether they got the answer right or not. We know that our deliverer is indeed Yeshua, the Messiah, and that He is coming to deliver us. We trust that. We believe in that. So our days of servitude, restriction, confinement are numbered. We're going to be delivered. We're crying out even now and asking Yah to help us. But it's also about the establishment of priesthood and the functioning of the firstborn. This is something that we need to get back to. So the second year, this is the first year anniversary of the initial event. Yah says, even in the wilderness, you need to perform the Passover, the Pesach, and you bring the lamb offerings and you eat the lamb with the bitter herbs and so forth, and you remember how that Yah has delivered you. Now, these men that were defiled for the being of a man, what is this all about? There is a midrashic commentary that is interesting here, and that is that the men in question were those who were carrying the coffin or the sarcophagus of Joseph. Remember, Joseph said, "You were to bring my bones up from here when you are set free." Somebody had to be transporting those bones. Were these men in question then those who were carrying Joseph out of bondage? That's a reasonable, plausible thought. Not for sure. We're not declaring a doctrine here. It's something to consider. Whatever was the case, for some reason, a man that has died or an uncleanness of some sort has come upon them, and they are ritually defiled. Therefore, they cannot perform the Pesach as originally instructed. And Yah says 30 days later. So there is a grace period here. This is important to us. It's also important that we go to verse 14, and we'll connect the two thoughts. And Yah says, "And when a stranger sojourns among you, then he shall perform the Pesach of Yahweh. He shall do according to the law of the Pesach and according to its right rulings. You have one law, one Torah, both for the stranger and for the native of the land." So whether you are a natural-born man or woman of Israel, or whether you are one who has joined yourself to, you were a stranger, you were afar off, and you who were afar off have been brought near. That's Ephesians chapter 2. Once we understand that, when we have been rejoined or newly joined, adopted into the family of Israel, then the feast days are for us. I will go so far as to say to you that when you are born again, when you become a follower of Yeshua the Messiah, even if you call him Jesus in the church, if you are saved, born again, if you have been redeemed, the feast days are for you. And they're not just a unique party that we casually celebrate. They are to be enjoined specifically and scripturally according to Yah's design. They are for you, and you need to embrace them. This is not bondage. This is not servitude. This is not legalism. These are feast days that Yah says, "I will be there, and I will be celebrating. My spirit, my presence will be with you." The question is, will you be there? And so for those that have been given a period of, we say, grace, that is not a covering over of sins so that they don't count anymore. That's not what grace is. Grace is the enabling power of Yah to do what his commands require of us. So Moshe is right when he says later on, none of these commands are too hard for you. None of them. Not one. The enabling power of Yah, his grace, his sufficiency, enables us to embrace all of these things and to walk correctly before him. Now, as you continue in this chapter, what is immediately juxtaposed to this teaching about a period of grace and a second chance is an understanding about that the cloud that hovered over the tent dictated the location of the tent. This glory cloud, if you want to use that terminology, the Shekinah, the manifested presence and light of Yah, that it was exhibited above in a pillar of a cloud over top of the tabernacle. When that cloud moved, then the tabernacle moved with it. And they moved at the command of Yah. This is not man dictating where his glory went and how it was to be revealed and how it was to be embraced. Yah did that. Our Creator did that. And so as we join ourselves to Israel, then we also learn to discern. We learn to discern how he moves, and we move with him. That's our heart. I want to join Israel. I want to experience his enabling power, and I want to move with him. We'll talk more tomorrow. Until then, shalom.